how do you feel we deal with like empathetic boys now? Like the brother, like this is how I feel like I was.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel stuff around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was tuned into my feelings in a way that I didn't feel like a lot of other people around me were.
Wow.
And I got criticized for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's like, suck it up.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit around here.
Mm-hmm.
Better be a man, go do this, to that, and the third. So then you start, the feelings don't go away.
Mm-hmm.
They're still there. Now I have to either hide them, and you know, when you hide anything, it turns into something else.
Right.
And so a lot of my empathic behavior showed up as sexual prowess, like physical aggression, violence in certain instances and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you go back, if you hearken back to the little boy
Right.
who had these feelings, I just needed somebody responsible and connected and aware enough for me to be like, let me help this brother through how to process these and manage these emotions, as opposed to
I'm the same way, bro.
having me push it down.
I'm the same way. To somebody to be like, that's a gift.
Yes.
Instead of a burden, right?
The feminine energy is important because I got most of my help managing that stuff from women.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Like a dude, not a single man helped me navigate how to interact from an empathetic standpoint with this stuff. Even some of the, even when certain women have been hard on me in certain instances. I think it would have been more helpful for me to have a man energy helping me navigate some of these emotional connections that I would have. I don't know if feminine is necessarily the right word to use for the opposite of like the masculine energy that I had. I just felt like there were multiple, like there was this much that I could process in an interaction, but I only knew how to express half of it. And this other half was like this big question mark or gray area of just, I like women.
That mission statement you read, the first word, you said manhood training is designed to, what's that first word after that?
Nurture, I think. Did you say it? No,
Nurture.
Yeah.
Because when you think of rearing a child, whether it's a male or when it's a male, very rarely do we use the word nurture, right? Or very rarely do we feel that that's a responsibility as a male to nurture. But I believe that it is. One of the, I think, if you just think of the way that people are, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you're thinking about the boy's development? It's discipline. We associate discipline with rearing with young men. But when it comes to young women, it's much more of a nurturing, it's much more of a like caring. And I believe that young men need that same nurturing and caring, right? Because that's what's going to enable them to demonstrate that in their more developed relationships later in life.
So that space that I was just talking about, where I felt like I could process half of it and the other space, nurturing could have helped with that, is what I'm hearing you say.
It could have helped with it, or it might have been nurturing itself.
Right. Yeah. Okay, or because I never felt nurtured as a kid, bro. And it's interesting that you use that word, but that's not a word I would ever use to describe my childhood.
And a lot of guys wouldn't, right? Even sometimes I've had friends who were raised by single mothers, and they, it's hard on single mothers, right? They have to play so many roles, so many hats. But even some of them feel like maybe because their mother felt the need to be the disciplinarian too, right?
Yeah.
That maybe they didn't have as much nurturing.
Yeah.
They couldn't have the good cop, bad cop thing with the parents or whatever. So maybe some of that was lost in that and her having to make sure he was a strong young man, right? Maybe left out some of the nurturing. Who knows?
And a father, I was talking to my homeboy who was on here, Life, and he has 3 sons. And I remember asking him a question. We were talking, and I don't know what made me think of it. I was like, when is the last time you had a gentle moment with your sons? And I don't know what, and he looked, because it's, even the word gentle isn't a word
Tightened
that,
up.
like, you like, hold on, man, you mean gentle? Like everything, and
Tightened up. Yeah.
feel like, and he was like, yeah, man, that word ain't a word we use a lot when we talking about men interacting with other men. And I don't think fathers are giving themselves permission either to be those things. Because a part of if we are empaths and we have a vocabulary, because to me, I think it's about intelligence and vocabulary. You have to, it's not just enough to have one without the other. You really need both to communicate. In this language, and all this is real time, by the way, so I don't even know if it's true.
Yeah.
It's just me, that space that I was describing, when you use the word nurturing, did make me feel like, or visualize, that I could have captured a broader percentage of what I was feeling if I had that nurturing aspect. And I was raised by a single mom for the most part. My dad was around a little bit, but to the point that you make, you can't be everything. You might lean more to the disciplinarian side, because you just don't have the energy to
keep them alive.
and that's more important than loving this little